Hey guys, as you may know, I'm Tajiri and I'm here with.
LK. I'll just use my name.
Okay,
That's fine.
and so we're going to be talking about relationships in 2023, how we've
They
navigated
suck.
them.
They
Yup.
suck. They suck.
So why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think of relationships?
Relationships suck in 2023 because Gen Z sucks as people. We do not know how to be vulnerable. We do not
Right.
know how to commit. We have so many problems from trauma other people caused us, and our generation and society puts a lot of pressure on certain aspects of things, and we feel rushed to do some things that we might not be ready to do. So,
Exactly. So would you say like social media has played an effect into that?
oh yeah, definitely,
Oh,
definitely. I I can't be mad at social media because that's how I met my boyfriend. But
yeah.
definitely social media has made me a lot worse of a person and a lot better of a person in different aspects of my life. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's sort of like a double-edged sword. So like at one side you get to meet more people, but on the other side, like it's kind of like deteriorating our
comparison,
values,
definitely
our relationships.
comparison because a lot of couples will only post a happy side and you don't know what's going on behind screen.
Right,
And you compare like, oh, they're so happy. Why can't I be happy?
like them.
Why can't I have them? Why can't I have what they have? And then you just compare yourself. And it's a very, very toxic and addictive thing to do. Trust me, I've done it. I still struggle with doing it, but I've learned to not do it as much as I used to anyway.
That's good input. So what do you think a lot of mistakes that guys make, like when they're starting relationships or like when they're like hanging out with a woman?
Communicate and speak up. Like, I'm being so for real. Like, just communicate. Like, if you don't feel the same, be like, hey, I don't feel the same. Like, speak up sooner rather than later because then it'll hurt less.
Right. I feel like I'm also a victim of this because like I wasn't communicating at all in my previous relationship. And it was to the point where she kept having to ask me questions like, "What are you doing?" Like, and I felt like,
Yeah.
okay, next time around, I'm gonna try my best to communicate. And I feel like as me, I'm coming from like zero experience. So like I've had no prior experience relationships. I knew I was gonna make mistakes, but
And that's human.
yeah,
It's not making mistakes that's a bad thing. It's about the consistency of making those said mistakes.
the consistency making the
Like,
mistakes.
if you make a mistake, that's okay. That's a human trait. We're human. But if you consistently make that mistake, it's not a mistake anymore. It's a habit. And if you're not consistently trying to change said habit, then obviously it's not going to work out between two people if that's one of the things that they disagree about.
It's a good input. So on to the women's side. So what do you think are some problems that women face or they generally habitually make in a relationship?
For me, it's testing them.
Oh yeah, testing,
Yeah,
testing.
testing. To make sure that he's still loyal, that he still likes me. I'm an overthinker. I overanalyze things,
Right.
so I'll take tone, words, connotation, denotation into account, and I'm my worst enemy. Women are their worst enemy. Men are pretty simple creatures usually,
Right.
and we just blow things out of proportion a lot of times, which is where communication comes
Comes
into
into play.
play. Yeah, so communicating about, hey, this is how you said X, Y, and Z, and this is how it made me feel. Did you mean it that way? And they'll be like, yes or no. If they did mean it that way, then y'all can have a conversation about it. If you didn't, then it's like, oh, it was just a misunderstanding. Because that's misunderstandings are probably the number one reason why relationships
Issues are.
don't last.
Exactly. I can attest to that. And I've actually seen like a lot of women like they would like break up with their boyfriend. They'd be like, "Hey, things aren't going all right. I want to break up with you." And then like based on how their boyfriend will react, like women would get a sense of like, did he really like me or not? And I feel like
Yeah,
that again, yeah, the testing, it's very negative,
it is,
and
and it's very
and a-
toxic, and I still struggle with that
yeah,
to this day.
a lot of men like they're very logical creatures. So like when they say that, they're like, "Oh God, she really doesn't like me anymore." I'm like, and they start flipping out. They start getting like emotional now.
Yeah.
But women,
And
yeah,
that's so bad because like y'all should be emotion. Men should be more emotionally vulnerable to women, and us as women should stop pulling that stupid shit.
yeah,
Like I mean, so for real. Like it's not just one gender's fault; it's both. We both have. It takes two to tango. Y'all both have accountability. Do not play victim. That's the like worst thing you can do. Take accountability of what you put into the relationship.
Right.
Work on what you put into what you bring to the table, and when they see that you are working on that and trying to be a better partner for them, if they really do like you, they will appreciate it, see it, appreciate it, and work on their end as well.
That's great. So I feel like what are some also mistakes that like a woman or a man asks for space? What's the best way of like going around that? Like, should you respect their space or should you come in?
It depends.
Right.
If it's a test, then that's stupid, and you should just do what they say and give them space and let them see stupid games get them stupid prizes. If it's actually a thing, then you should still give them space because they asked for it. So either way, just follow what they say. And if they get mad, then that's their problem of not communicating what they actually wanted.
Yeah, it's more of a maturity thing, especially
Yeah.
like a lot of us are coming into college. Like we have sudden like
Freedoms.
freedom
Yeah.
and like sudden like also like responsibilities we have to have on top of that, and like
Yeah.
we're really like we're developing rapidly in these like 4 years.
Yeah.
So like yes, we're bound to make mistakes, but at the same time, know your mistakes, work on them, and become a better person for the future, like person you're going to be.
And if they wanted to, they would. Like, yes, that is a toxic phrase, but it's true to a certain point. Like, if they wanted you, they would work on themselves. They would try to communicate better. They would try to be a better partner. They would try to be a better girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Like, I kid you not, like, if they wanted to, they would. Like, they truly would. Like, me who struggled in relationships in the past, because I felt like I was asking for too much. I feel like my needs were too much, and I would be asking them to drive an hour to come see me. I'd be asking them to give up a little bit more of their free time to spend with me, and it was a battle for sure in the past. And now my current partner drove 3 hours at like 2 in the goddamn morning to just come see me and support me and get me through my day for my competition, and that just speaks volumes. If they
Right.
wanted to, they would, and if they wanted to put in the work in the relationship, they would, and if they don't, then there's a problem. There's a
Right.
root problem.
It's
It's
all
not
about
a communication problem.
the thought behind what they wanted to do with you. And also like love has no barriers. Like if you really, really love someone, you can sacrifice time, effort, and some things to be with them.
Yes, to a point. To a
Yes.
point.
There's always some nuance with that. Yes.
Yes. If it's cross countries, if it's financial burden, if it's like emotional burden that they cannot fulfill, and you can still love someone and let them go. Like that's still a thing. Like if you cannot emotionally, physically, mentally complete like give them what they need, sometimes it's the best option is to let it go. Cuz if you really do love them, they would understand that you cannot provide that. And even if you wanted to, sometimes you can't physically, you know? So,
I know a lot of people like they really loved this partner they were with, and they were just like, I'm not in that part of my life yet, or I haven't become the man or woman I want to be yet, in order to like make you like, in order to like give you the love and deserve you need for this relationship. So then they would let it go for now, and if it's really meant for them, they come back together, and if it's not, then they go their
I
separate ways.
agree and disagree with that. Because sometimes, if you're not in a place to be ready for that, if you're not mature enough for that, sometimes, yes, letting go is the best option. But sometimes working on yourself together is also, could be another option. It just depends on the situation, depends on the people, and depends on what they are in life.
The latter sounds better.
It does sound
Being
better.
working together
Yeah.
and
Sometimes
improving your
I feel like that's more. I feel like that's honestly more doable than splitting. I feel like splitting up is the easy way out. I feel like it's very doable to get emotionally mature. It's very doable. Just not a lot of people want to put in the work. And sometimes it really does take, hey, let's slow this down, put a pause on it, and put my head down and just work on myself for a little bit. Still together, but like, you know what I mean? That's what it took for me. It took my last ex breaking up with me, and then I was like, oh, fuck this. I'm gonna become a woman that is so higher, like my higher being, my higher power. I'm gonna become the best version of myself, so that when Mr. Right does come along, I'll be ready. And even then, I wasn't fucking ready. Like, I wasn't even fucking ready for Mr. Right when he walked into
Right.
my life. Like,
I feel like none of us are really ever ready to.
no,
It's like,
no, we're
yeah,
not. It just happens. Happens when you're least expecting it, honestly. And there's a beauty in that. But at the same time, there's no such thing as a right time. People are like, oh, wrong, right person, wrong time. Bitch, no. There's no such thing as a right time. Like, y'all are meant to be together for that time, and if it's meant to be, you'll come back. But like, there's no such thing as a right time.
right
Sometimes you just gotta mature or grow in a certain aspects of your life, and then y'all will be ready.
at the right time.
Yeah, but there's no such thing as a right time. Sometimes it's just like it just
And it
happens.
happens.
Yeah, the universe is weird. It works in crazy ways sometimes, and I'm glad that it worked the way it's doing because it's doing a great job. It's doing a great job. I've learned so much. I've grown so much from the girl I used to be into the woman I am now. So,
Yeah. And on the unfortunate circumstances of like breakups, how would you feel like is the best way for not even a woman to handle it, but like a person to handle it? So like, what can they do to like make sure that their healing process is like smoother and easier?
work out. The
Work
gym is
out.
honestly like the dopamine, the endorphins you get from working out is great. Pick up a new hobby. Be busy. Like sometimes it just takes time.
Oh yeah, guys, and pick up a new language too. Like I preach that on
Yeah.
this channel. Like pick up a new language.
Yo
It
necesito
helps.
practicar más,
Helps very
pero
much.
mi idioma necesita practicar, sí.
Chinese too.
Ah, Canada, okay.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, pick
French.
hobbies, grow yourself as a person, and kind of like analyze yourself and be more introspective and be like, what do I
Yeah,
actually want with my
listen to
life?
podcasts.
Listen to
Listen to podcasts.
podcasts.
That literally, I listened to so many motivational podcasts after my breakup,
Right?
and it changed my perspective on life. I'm gonna give a shout out to a podcast. Date Yourself. Great podcast. Made me realize that I was asking for love in the wrong places.
Right.
For sure, for sure. And then I listened to motivational podcasts like all the freaking
All
time
the
when I was,
time.
and I journal that
Journal.
shit, like manifest that shit. Like the power of writing down your thoughts is like
Exactly.
so substantial. Like I shit you not, I literally wrote down what I wanted out of life after me and my ex broke up. Guess how many of those things came true? All of them. All of
Wow.
them. Just like me writing down that shit, like I will qualify for collegiate nationals. I will get an internship as a freshman. I will be happy in my own body. I will become stronger, better. Like, and I will make weight. I will have a boyfriend that loves me with all his heart that is stronger than my ex. Like, I manifested that shit. And
And
you know
all of them
why?
came
The
true.
power of writing every day for like 5, 6, 7 months. Like,
Writing is insane. Like
it
what it
does
does.
go crazy.
Like
It
even
does go
something simple is like
crazy.
writing down what like you're grateful for, like gratitude. Like
Oh, and practice
I used to
gratitude,
do that.
practice humility, practice like the more you practice it, the better you get at it. The more you practice being in a relationship, the better you'll get at it. The more you practice on working on yourself, the better you get at it. Habits are formed by repetition, and the more you repeat things, the more there'll be a habit. So build healthy ones for you and yourself. That scared the shit out of me.
Ooh, let's see. That might be like what? That was good. I think we are full. Yeah, memory's full. But that was really good. That was 14 quality minutes.